Gordy Rush joins us now. He's part of the Handycast on Mondays. We do a little film review. Gordy, how you doing?
Hey, doing great, Charlie.
So as you look at Tennessee, when we talk about tempo offenses, they come in all kind of shapes and sizes. So what, besides the fact they've got a really good quarterback, what makes the tempo offense for Tennessee click? What are the best attributes? What kind of offense are we talking about here?
Well, Hypo goes fast. Brian Kelly said it's the fastest offense in college football, and got a chance to watch it firsthand when LSU played Central Florida in the Fiesta Bowl. Was that 2018 or the 2019 Fiesta Bowl? So they go really, really fast. I think what makes it click is that Hooker is so poised. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. He stands tall in the pocket. He runs the RPO game. He's really sharp with that. And then he's not Jane Daniels fast, but he's certainly a dual threat guy and explosive in the run game. And then you surround him with Small and Wright, who are outstanding running backs. They've got McCoy from USC in the slot. They've got plenty of talent. So this is an explosive offense. Naturally, they're ranked first in college football.
You know, when I always talk about the spread offenses, the tempo offenses, it's always a running game that tends to differentiate from the guys that just go fast and don't possess the ball, the guys that go fast and they have a running game to go along with it because they tend to turn the ball over less. So when you look at Jalen Wright, top 10 rusher in the league, just under 5 yards a carry, what do you see from the Tennessee run game out of this?
Well, you got Small, I think, a little bit bigger and a little bit more explosive between the tackles. Wright is a little bit quicker. They complement each other. And then, I've talked about Hooker. I mean, all three of them had double-figure carries in that win against Florida. And I think that what I love about the no huddle in that tempo is you are really dictating to the defense what they're going to do. And I think that's going to be the challenge that Coach House is going to have is that you're going to have to move pretty quick. So it's going to be hard to substitute. You're going to have to get lined up, and as Brian Kelly has said, get your cleats in the ground and react and play football. And some of the things that has made LSU particularly dangerous, I think, defensively, where they've excelled, they've been able to show teams a lot of looks, and that's going to be limited against Tennessee in this game.
Hendon Hooker is an accomplished runner, but he doesn't run when he doesn't have to. The first 3 games of the season, he ran very little. Now, 2 of those were blowouts, and he didn't run against Pittsburgh until there were some key moments in the fourth quarter where he needed to pick them up. But against Florida, he ran for 112 yards. So he's certainly accomplished when he needs to be. With all that said, how comfortable are you playing man coverage against this group?
Well, they got athletes. They can beat you. I mean, McCoy's a big body, and, kind of the way that Jack Besh operates a little bit in the slot. He's physical and can get separation there, and he's experienced. Look, I don't think you can – they're too good. They got too much experience to just play one thing. You're going to have to play both and show a little bit, and you're going to have to get after him some. You're going to have to get after him some. But I don't think you can lock up and play man the whole game on him.
The communications problems that LSU has had defensively sometimes early in games have disappeared later in the games. They did it against Mississippi State. They did it against Florida State. And they did it again in the game against Auburn. So when you see the adjustments that they're making, what are they basing this on? What are they seeing early, and how are they adjusting?
Well, look, I think the second one on that corner, Joe Fouché was out playing his first game of the year out there on the hash along with Greg Brooks, and maybe there was some newness. And I'm not sure. I'm not in that meeting room, so I don't know what call was busted. And then Sage Ryan, simply got beat on a scramble drill. Receiver came up, he bit on the receiver. The receiver got behind him and got some separation. I feel like they've cleaned a lot of that up when they moved Greg Brooks back on the hash and kicked Jay Ward down, who's played the nickel, and he's been exceptional at the nickel position, just getting back healthy last week. I think the question is, do they start with Fouché, or is it going to be Bernard Converse, who finished the game against Auburn?
The flip sides, buzz all week has been, will the passing game open things up and throw the ball down the field? Kelly was pretty pointed on Monday. The players have talked about it a little bit. There was a meeting and all that. So what do you expect to see different when they open up on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's $1 million question, and we're not going to know till Saturday. I think it starts with Jaden just trusting the play that's called, and what's hard to know, and again, not being in the meeting rooms, is what is the call, and then obviously he's flushing or he's pulling the ball down prematurely and not sticking with the play or the progression. We talked about on the handicaps. There was no way that Mason Taylor was targeted 11 times in the game plan. Nobody left Baton Rouge on Thursday and said, "Hey, this is Mason Taylor's game." Not with all the weapons that you have surrounding him. And so there's some breakdown there. I think some of it is there's been early game anxiety. I think he's had happy feet in the first quarter of Florida State, Mississippi State, and a little bit against Auburn. And I think just trusting what the play's called, go through the progression, plant your feet, and throw the football. And you're a tremendous athlete. Daniels is obviously a tremendous athlete. The problem is now that you get in the SEC play in the next 5 football games, I mean, you're not playing Oregon and you're not playing Cal and Stanford where you can do some of the stuff that you did at Arizona State. You've got guys that are 6'6", 300, and just as fast as you are, and they're going to hurt you. And that's been the concern all along. So, number one, is Daniels going to execute the play as called, stand in there and deliver the football and throw the football when it's supposed to come out? Or the wild card. Does Coach Kelly look at Garrett Nussmeier? And Nussmeier is going to throw the football. It's the opposite. You worry about the gunslinger mentality a little bit with that. But his point in the Monday press conference was spot on. You're not going to win many SEC games throwing for 87 yards.
It's funny because most quarterbacks worry about getting pulled if they take too many chances and turn the ball over. Jaden Daniels is actually in a point right now where if he doesn't take some chances and throw the ball down the field, even if it results in no turnovers, right, he's in more danger of being pulled if he doesn't do that than if he does.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you can't. You're lucky to get out of Auburn, who arguably isn't the worst, is one of the worst teams in the SEC. They played way above their head, but statistically, you were beaten by 150, 200 yards in terms of yardage gain. You can't live like that. So he's going to have to throw the football some, and he's capable of doing so. I've seen the scrimmages. For whatever reason in the game, it's not translating right now.
Well, you remember about the Florida game last year as far as the atmosphere? That was a morning start. It was a game that LSU certainly didn't expect. I didn't expect them to play the way that they did, and it turned up being a big win for LSU. So with an 11 o'clock start, what do you remember that Florida start and the atmosphere there?
Yeah, it picked up as the game went on. Of course, it was an offensive shootout, which you expect this one to be a little bit of that. I mean, what I remember is that I think that was a game LSU found the running game, and it was Mashburn and the traps, and Ty Davis Price ran wild in that game. And on the flip side, Emory Jones got benched, and Richardson came in, and he was unstoppable. It was a heck of a football game, and it was definitely the unexpected. But I think because the nature of the game was so exciting, the crowd was good in that one.
Yeah, the record actually has been very good in the morning games. It's just that nobody likes them, but they've actually played really well in these games.
Yeah, look, you got to get up. I mean, it's LSU-Tennessee. I mean, this is a well-coached football team that I think is a passing game or some execution away from having a really good season here. They're not going to win the SEC, but I think Coach Kelly's done a heck of a job with the adjustments defensively. They're playing good football, especially considering it's a new coordinator and a hodgepodge of people there. And I've been impressed with the way they've been able to run the football in the second half of some of these games with two true freshman tackles and really running back by committee. I think they averaged 6 yards a carry in the second half of the Auburn football game, and they had 5 yards passing total. So if they could get a passing game to go along with it, it could make for some interesting football in this 5-game stretch. You're just not going to, the way that Tennessee scores and the way that Florida scores, you're going to have to score some points to win. You're not going to pull off a game like you did against Auburn.
All right, Gordy, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you in pregame.
Okay, buddy. Thanks.